Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live. So much excitement in the auction, so much money being spent, so much GDP increasing of Australia, of course, not of India. It's true, है ना? सही बात है.
You already said it. Why are you looking this side for confirmation?
आपको पता है कि without validation from you, my life is meaningless.
But we don't know if GDP is a good enough measure anymore. So
that is true, actually. That is true.
We're all getting in trouble.
That is true. We're all getting in trouble. Go big or go home, guys. Go big or go home. All right, of course, I still have Joy Bhattacharjya and Harsha here.
I love it.
Just in case.
I love it. He said, I've got Joy Bhattacharjya. He said, no, I think he said something wrong.
We still, like, I'm going to tell you their names. My name is Gautam Bhimani, in case you want to catch me for something.
Just because you're seeing Delhi Capitals build a team of 11 batsmen, you're in so much trouble?
No, I'm just, first of all, nobody can understand Delhi over the years, not just the IPL team, the city. You know, nobody can understand people from Delhi. But somewhere, I don't understand what they're doing with so many batsmen. So let's just start analysing with Delhi right now.
Okay, let's
what
go
they've
Delhi.
done at the auction so far. They've got Jason Roy, they've got Shimron Hetmyer, they got Alex Carey. They, of course, had traded Trent Bolt. So if you remember, they were actually a bowler short. What they wanted, what is a very good buy actually, is definitely Chris Woakes. They needed that sort of all-rounder. Remember, they got rid of Chris Morris because they didn't get those performances from him. So Chris Woakes, Chris for a Chris, Sam for a Sam for CSK, Chris for a Chris for Delhi Capitals. They've got the bowler who can tonk the ball a bit. That's what they needed, right?
Yeah, bowling all-rounder. Bowling all-rounder. See, my only problem is they still haven't solved one problem of theirs, which is that other than Rabada, none of their bowlers, even Ishant, is a natural death overs bowler.
Okay.
And Chris Morris was a death overs bowler. Chris Woakes again is not known for bowling at the death. They tried it in Kolkata. It doesn't work.
Yeah, true.
There's a death bowler waiting to be bought somewhere there.
Yeah, so there's a death bowler definitely that
So they look back. There might be a...
Yeah, because Ishant, they've got Ishant, but Ishant is not a death bowler.
I would be surprised. How much money do they have left? They won't... may not be a bad idea to go back for Dale Steyn.
They could go back. They could go back.
Dale Steyn in his second coming at the Mzansi Super League has actually been doing very well in South Africa.
The good thing, of course, for Delhi is that because their core is so strong with Indians, their foreigners, they have a luxury with foreigners which other players don't have. Other players need necessity. Foreigners necessity, they can use foreigners as luxury.
Yeah. That's why all four of their buys today are foreigners.
Yeah, they have
Alex Carey, Hetmyer, Woakes and Roy.
Remember, they have a Harshal Patel as well, who's been around the circuit for a long time, but is enjoying the best phase.
They kept Harshal Patel, right?
They kept Harshal Patel. He's been opening the batting for Haryana.
Oh, he's had a great season.
And he's their leading run getter and leading wicket taker this year. So they've got this big hit. He opened the batting, he was scoring at strikers of 150, 160.
Yeah.
So they've got a big hitter there if required. But I still think Joy's point is valid. Who's going to bowl the end overs? It's something RCB fans are already asking, but it's also something that Delhi fans need to ask. Who's going to bowl at the end?
Overbuying, there is this, I believe there is a genuine term called overbuying at the auction, right?
Yes.
RCB's done it sometimes. Load the team up and then have confusion of picking your 11.
You know what?
Is DC overbuying?
I think so, and I've seen this phenomenon happen all the time. You see, what happens is a lot of times, okay, there were teams like Kings 11 and KKR who played safe, because in those days, remember, there was not so much money in the IPL. Yes. Teams would struggle to make ends meet. But if you see the other teams, there's a lot of times in KKR where 20 players would have worked or 18 players would have worked, but you buy 25 saying, it's, what it is, it's what I call the Durga Puja mentality. Let me spend the money, nobody can accuse me that I'm not trying my best. Okay, if it's a bit more garish and I don't need that extra celebration.
The Durga Puja mentality.
So because what you're saying is, I'll buy everything. Okay, I'll have a magic show also and I'll have a quiz show also and I'll have so-and-so sing also. Because what you want to do is, hey, you don't need 6 big programs for 4 days. But their thing is that if I leave money in the budget out there, people will think I'm not really trying.
Okay, so basically you're saying it's like a Punjabi wedding.
Okay, Punjabi wedding.
Yeah,
Punjabi wedding is fine. That's fine.
I understand it. Yeah, 18 main courses, 27 appetizers.
Exactly, you don't need it.
Shows that we have one culture. Right? Bengali, Punjabi, and you found something in common. Doesn't happen only in the movies.
We did.
Absolutely. You just don't, and it is a problem for a team because, when you say 25 players, no team can actually carry 25 players.
Yeah, and they shouldn't.
They can't.
Way too many.
The physios go mad. And let me tell you, when players don't play, they sulk. They get niggles that they shouldn't have because they want attention, because they're not getting enough attention from the coach. The physios and trainers go mad. The masseurs go mad because, they called and said, massage me, I've had a tough session yesterday. So the whole setup is clunky because the coach doesn't have mind space to handle all these players.
Correct.
And this is a big issue. you're better off buying enough players and saying, okay, this is enough, I'm not going to do more, than buying these huge lots.
Shimron Hetmyer, of course, Delhi Capitals has picked him up. Let's have a look at that, of course. It's gone, there you go. He's got 516 runs in 29. So what has happened is that
Don't look at those
2019, the 2019 IPL, perhaps not that great for him. But post that, it's been all right. His white ball performance has been good. Few days ago versus India as well.
But that was in one-day internationals.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you get into T20, you think you have less time than you think you have.
Yeah.
There's actually enough time.
Yeah.
And so maybe you try too hard. Those numbers for Shimron Hetmyer that you saw, average of 19, strike rate 120, they must be when he's batting right-handed. Because they bear no resemblance to the player I have seen. So maybe that is the reason. Maybe just tries too much. He's a character. Shimron Hetmyer is a bit of a character. So maybe he's trying too hard. Maybe he's trying to show I can.
But what's his role in Delhi? Where is he? Because if you have a solid top 4-5, where are you batting him in Delhi? 6?
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's no point batting him at 6.
There's no
Because
point.
by the time you get into 6, you're getting into the Akshar Patels, Harshal Patels, you're getting into your bowlers who can bat.
But then
You don't want more than 5
that's what
batsmen.
I'm saying. See, I mean, whoever your openers are, Hetmyer is not opening, obviously.
No.
At 3, you have the captain. You know,
Yes.
Shreyas bats at 3. You got, Rishabh batting at 4. Right?
Yes. No Shreyas. You say Shreyas 3.
Shreyas 3.
So that means you're leaving out already one of Rane or Shikhar.
One of the two are sitting.
One of the two have to sit. And if you play them as well, then you got Rishabh at 5, you got Hetmyer at 6. So I'm saying best case scenario is batting at 5.
No, but if you then play all those 5 and Hetmyer at 6, then you and me have to bowl.
That's true.
So they can't play more than 5
I
batsmen.
mean, it's not even a batting surface. Yeah, Kotla is not the ideal batting
I mean,
surface.
the only reason I can think of looking of Hetmyer is, I think the way maybe he played Jadeja on that pitch. And the fact is because he didn't play Kuldeep particularly well, but he seems to side Jadeja. See, one of the things that, quite a few of the coaches told me is, one of the advantages of the West Indians, and we were talking about this, is very strong here. In their core is very strong. So what happens is, the strength that a lot of guys need to do to jump out and hit spinners out of the ground, they can stand their ground and hit sixes. If you saw a couple of the sixes he hit Jadeja, he was standing there. He didn't step out and hit him. He hit it literally from here. And on a pitch like Delhi, where maybe the ball, you're sitting and waiting for it to turn, he doesn't need to jump out and take risks against somebody. He can actually sit back and hit. And that's an advantage that they say that if you have very strong cores, you can just not move out that much.
Also,
maybe that's what they're looking
boundary
at.
Delhi is a little bigger than the studio.
Yeah, true. Absolutely
That's
true.
true. Just a
Straight
tad.
boundary, he'll just go tuck. If he's got
I
the
remember
power.
once doing a game at Delhi, the Delhi Daredevils were playing that. Might have been either against Mumbai Indians or something. One of the spinners came, it might have been Harbhajan. It wasn't even the central pitch. It was one of the side pitches. And he looked at it and said, "Oi, see the boundary hai yahan pe." Because it was one of the side pitches. For some reason, they were not playing on the central pitch in the square. They were playing on one of the side pitches and the boundary was just there.
Can I please remind you of the line that Yuzi Chahal said to me, where he said he walked up to one of these curators with the boundary in, and he said, boundary is so close. He said, Arey, if there are no 4s and 6s, then crowd will not come. He says, if there are so many 4s and 6s, bowlers will not come. It's a great line by Chahal. Exactly the same.
Other day in Chennai also, SMG was doing commentary and he said, look how much distance there is from where the pitch ends, where the ground ends to where the boundary rope is. So we have to bring them in, but that's for another day.
So now Delhi Capitals on one side has a lot of Indian players and are buying foreigners. The Rajasthan Royals on the other hand have got their foreigners sorted and are buying a lot of Indian players. So let's have a look at the ones that they have bought. Of course, they bought Robin Uthappa, that was early in the day. Jaydev Uncapped back at Rajasthan Royals. Anuj Rawat, Akash Singh, Kartik Tyagi. They've got David Miller, of course, Killer Miller. Yashasvi Jaiswal was one of the names that we were looking at. And 2.4 crores, a lot of under 19 players here, Harsha.
Yeah, it's good to see under 19 players being noticed. But as I get older, I worry a little bit more that about the amount of money under 19 players are getting. We shouldn't be losing under 19 players because they're getting too much money. A lot of these boys, Yashasvi Jaiswal is a very moving story. A lot of these boys have come from very underprivileged backgrounds.
Great story of his.
The fabulous stories. I only hope they manage.
Tell us, for people who don't know.
I only hope they manage their fame and their wealth well. Yashasvi Jaiswal has lived in the Maidans of Mumbai when he was a child, literally staying in the tents in the Maidans, selling pani puri on a stall, whatever. I mean, we don't want to highlight the underprivileged nature of how hard he had to work.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic that players like these are doing so well.
Yeah.
And they're being an inspiration to so many others, but we can't lose them because they suddenly got into wealth. I've got a theory. It's maybe a socialist theory in a capitalist era, but I think we should pay them half their money and save their money and give it to them at a certain age.
No, that's good. I mean, it's not socialist. Actually, it is capitalist. Having a trust
Decide what a maturity age is.
Yeah.
If you say people are mature at 25, okay, 25 we accept. You think no, 28. Okay, at 28, put their money in tax-free bonds so that when they get it, they're not paying tax on it.
Yeah.
Even if it's 5.5%, 6% tax-free bonds, but keep some of their money away.
I'll tell you who would have liked this idea. Most of the professional boxers in the United States.
Correct.
Yeah, all went-
All went bankrupt at a later stage in life.
When you're young, you don't know what company to keep.
Exactly.
But this is just me being my age on an IPL.
I don't think so. I think it's being very prudent. I think it's very practical and worldly wise advice.
About 40% of NBA players go bankrupt after. Okay, because it's one thing to get wealth at a very early age when you don't know how to manage it. And a lot of them, actually now they're trying to look at creating exactly as you said, what we call back-ended contracts, saying at the end of the contract you'll get a certain amount of money which will be doled out year after year after
The old
year.
BCCI had a benevolent fund. I quite like the idea that on your retirement, the moment you announced your retirement, you got your money from the benevolent fund,
Yep.
which they had kept aside. But
You know,
anyway,
the thing
that's
is,
just another
because
thing.
the IPL is such a young league compared to all the other leagues in the world, right? It's a baby league. It's 13 years old. A lot of these problems are not coming to light as much as they have in the NBA, in the NFL, in all of them. But this is true. It will happen because it's human across countries. It's
You
human.
also have to understand that the tide brings in a lot of under-19 players every year.
Yeah.
And they're the flavor of the month. So now Priyam Garg has got some money. Yashasvi Jaiswal has got a contract. Ravi Bishnoi has got a contract. The tide is coming in. 2 years ago, the Tide brought in Manjot Kalra. He hasn't got a contract this year. Didn't get a game. Didn't get opportunity. He's gone unsold. Now suddenly he's looking at the next set of people coming in and
saying,
saying,
"Mr. Bus."
"Ab mera kya hoga? Meri bus chali gayi."
Yeah.
And he's no longer favored this season.
Yeah. So we've got to be a little careful. The tide coming, but it's fantastic that these young players are getting recognized early. I only hope the danger doesn't move towards staying under 19 longer than you are.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you one thing. This one of the things that Dravid did, which is very interesting, is he said nobody will play 2 under-19s. So if you even if
World
you're
Cups,
17
yeah.
and selected, you're not going
Last
to
year,
play.
Washington Sundar could have played, but couldn't because he'd already played at 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking there, of course, was that don't fudge your age.
Yeah.
The other thing was, after 2 years, if you're still playing under 19 cricket, you're not good enough, you're not made progress.
No.
Yes.
So go on. Anyway, so Ravi Bishnoi, leg spinner,
Yep.
get some money. Yashasvi Jaiswal gets a contract. I hope they get to play some games, even if it's 3 or 4 games. Discover
That's
what
the
life
big-
is at that
with
level.
under 19 people.
He's going to play.
Don't get
He's
enough
going to play
games.
because look at the team he's gone to. Just have a look at the
Rajasthan
squad.
Royals, yeah.
I know a little bit more about Yashasvi because I happen to deal with him professionally. And he has a very good coach. Again, you need that one solid father figure kind of guy.
A supervising adult,
Yeah, there's a man
so to
called
speak.
gentleman called Priyam Singh, who's a coach who looks after him,
Yeah.
who's very careful to make sure that the money goes towards family, towards trust. The kid has his head squarely on his shoulders. So, I mean, so far they're doing a very, very good job. It's always tough, and you're always one temptation away from disaster. But I think they're doing a better job in Yashasvi than I've seen in a lot of kids.
So he's got a franchise. They've got Robin Uthappa as their opener. So Yashasvi Jaiswal is the other opener available. They've got a keeper in Anuj Rawat. And they've invested in people like Karthik Tyagi and, in Karthik Tyagi, another young player. So
I don't see David Miller getting a game.
no. David Miller is there in case someone like a Ben Stokes or somebody suddenly pulls a hamstrings. He's gone for 3 or 4 games. You need to
Yeah,
bring
he's
it
a
at the
backup.
end.
He's your
So
backup.
He's a backup player, David Miller.
Because those 4 will play otherwise without a decision. I mean, you cannot have players of the quality of Archer, Butler, Stokes, and Smith miss out.
Okay. How do you think, fair call, Kings 11 and Anil Kumble have probably done the best in the auction so far?
They've done well. We'll
Yeah.
wait and see if it's the best by the time the auction ends. But they've done well.
Let's have a look at who all Kings 11 Punjab has picked up. Let's have a look at their squad, how it stands now. Maxwell, Sheldon Cottrell, Deepak Hooda, Ishan Purel, Ravi Bishnoi, and Jimmy Neesham. Jimmy Neesham for 50 lakhs is a steal.
Yes, it is. It is a
Yeah,
steal, actually.
absolutely.
Because you look at that side and say, okay, let's assume Chris Gale is playing. Chris Gale, KL Rahul, Mayank Agarwal, Nicholas Pooran. That's 2 overseas players. Mujibur Rahman, 3. Maybe Glenn Maxwell, Sheldon Cottrell. So Neesham might struggle to get a game initially. But someone who bats at 6, who tongs the ball at 6, gives you 2 overs. allows you to play 22 overs is fantastic. So Nisham is a good bar to have around in case you find that Chris Gayle is not quite the player you thought he was. Then someone
They
else
never
opens
play
the
him
bat.
for all 14 anyway. I mean, even last season, they didn't play him all 14. No.
I have a question
play
out
him
here.
for
I
a few.
still go back. Can we go back to that
Sure,
graphic
sure,
again?
of course.
Because my one question remains, I still don't see a captain jumping out at me.
Yeah.
I still don't see it. What do? Do you give, somebody like a maxi captaincy and say, run with it?
Okay, Rahul maybe.
Rahul, that's what I'm saying. Or you say that, okay, Rahul now, and say, you know what, Rahul, you're the centerpiece of our franchise. We're going to retain you next year. You're going to be our captain. You're going to get a lot of help in the beginning because we have a lot of experienced players with you. And take it along, but you are going to be our captain. Because
Here's my problem with that, is that the team let Ashwin go. That's the captain. So the owners decided that, first they said, we'll let him go. Then they said no, after some board meeting, they said no.
That's because Anil Kumble wanted him in.
Anil Kumble. And
Kumble
then they
wanted
said,
Ashwin
no,
to stay
we're
on.
going to let him go again. When you make such a drastic move, if you don't announce your captain immediately, that means you're probably looking at buying a captain, is what I'm thinking, right? Yes. Which they have not done.
Which is fair to say, yeah.
Unless they've taken a call and they haven't told us yet.
Or they've decided that, fine, let's see if we can get a captain in the auction, if we can buy one, and if we can't, then we'll
Don't
go back
forget,
to KL
don't
Rahul.
forget, I'm
Let's look at that team again and we'll see this. Only KL Rahul is the viable option that jumps out at you.
I'm convinced a captain is worth two players in this side.
Yes.
In T20 cricket, the captain's
I
got to be so screwed on,
cannot-
so clued on.
Absolutely.
So he has to be.
Cannot agree more.
Experienced players around in that side always helps to have an Indian captain. Experienced players around there are Mandeep Singh, who's captaining Punjab this year, Karun Nair, who's captaining Karnataka this year.
Mandeep
Now
used to
those
captain
two,
India under 19 also.
yeah. Now those two are not guaranteed a spot every day. So the moment you pick one of them, then you're thinking, can I get Chris Gayle in the side? So it'll be even tougher on one of those two if they're appointed captain, because then they've got to justify their role in the side. So
Absolutely.
it's looking more and more like KL Rahul to me.
Rahul, the other thing is Rahul, Agarwal, between the two of them.
Yeah, maybe they're friends. Share it. You know a thing or two about sharing captains.
You know enough about multiple captain theories.
You had to go.
Of course
there.
I had to.
Somewhere you had to. Moment he gave you a little place to go in, straight.
This is me always. See, this is me. I just go like that and I wait. And then I get a little bite. Ooh, big fish, big fish. Big fish, big fish.
Yeah, but they're looking like
Sledging. Bengali sledging. Chingri fish.
They're looking like they're putting together a good side.
CSK is out of money. That's it.
CSK is out of money. Let's
Game
look at
over. CSK loves the... They only go shopping when the discount tags come out, right? They only go towards the end. Today they haven't. Today they've done the big buys, right? They've gone Sam Curran. They went big.
Sam Curran 5.5, Piyush Chawla 6.75.
Yes, and that means they've got only 35 lakhs left. They've got 2 slots only to fill. Let's have a look at what their team is looking at right now. The number of... Let's look at their team and see the number of young people, youth. The number of over 30 and less under 30.
One of the reasons, let me repeat myself from what I said this afternoon.
Yes.
One of the reasons they do so well is experienced players do well.
That is true.
In T20 cricket.
They've shown it. Listen, when we pull their leg, remember with that comedy we're punching up. You know what they say about punching up and punching down in comedy? We're punching up because they are performers. They are champions. They win. They come runners up, and that's how we do it. It's all done, of course, in jest. But they've got, boy, have they got spin. They have got
7 spinners.
They've got more spin doctors than
Go on.
most.
Go on.
Can I say it?
I'm waiting. No, it's your line.
They've got more spin doctors than most governments in the world. Governments need spin doctors, right? They need PR specialists and stuff, right? Most of them. So they've got more spinners there. Let's show you. Let's count. 6 or 7? 6?
7, I thought.
6?
7 genuine ones.
7. Harbhajan Singh.
I'm not even counting Raina.
Yeah, we're not counting Raina, right? So let's go.
Harbhajan
Harbhajan Singh,
Singh,
Imran
Imran
Tahir, Karan Sharma, Mitchell
Santner,
Santner,
Jadeja.
Piyush Chawla, Ravindra Jadeja. You're not counting Kedar Jadhav bowling below sea level.
Suresh Raina.
So yeah, we've got... You can get 32 overs of spin in every game. They can bowl their 20 and 12 for the opposition.
Yeah.
At least the game will get over really quickly.
Yeah, over rates will not be a problem. With
Overrates will not be a problem.
Hazelwood's a good buy because he's cover for his choice, not cover. He's too good a player to be called cover. His choice alongside Lungi Ngidi.
Wouldn't you play him, just play, I mean, Hazelwood's top form.
But again, someone like Hazelwood, because of his workload, Australia manage his workload well to be able to play him at the big games. He misses a test from time to time because they need to manage his workload. Lungi Ngidi is a bit like that. So maybe who was fit on the day plays.
Fair point.
And Ngidi has been a very, very fine bowler.
And you've got Deepak Chahar and Shardul Thakur.
Correct.
So that makes it up for
The young brigade of CSK, the fast bowlers.
That's well, Deepak Chahar, Shardul Thakur. That's one fast bowler more than Dhoni plays anyway.
That is true.
Because you got Bravo as well.
That's true.
So you,
Okay, wait, spinner, bravo, add to the list.
that's cruel.
Where does he bowl the faster
cruel.
ball anymore?
That is
He just bowls slower and slower.
Clever ones though. Really clever and unplayable ones.
Champion.
Sunrisers Hyderabad, well, unfortunately, there was a logistical mess up and they were given the 120 kilo paddle, which they just couldn't lift. But apparently that's been changed now and they've got a lighter one, so they will be shopping a lot more, as they have just stated, in the coming rounds. I'm just being irreverent. That's my new way of being irreverent.
And I'm
Having some
thinking,
fun. So they're going to be buying some more right now. What have they bought so far?
where are they
Besides
going
some
to play
coffee,
Mitch Marsh?
Sorry?
Besides coffee, okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, where are they going to play Mitch Marsh?
Yeah.
Because look at that, they've got real quality overseas players. David
Right.
Warner,
Yeah.
Johnny Bairstow, Captain Kane Williamson, Rashid Khan, Mohammad Nabi. That's 5 quality overseas players.
I mean,
you want a
here's the
fast
thing.
bowler, you got Big Billy Stanlake. So where are they going to play Marsh?
Mitchell Marsh, Mohammad Nami for me are like for like, right?
Yes,
I
but
mean,
in-
they both spin,
but
but in terms of their batting ability,
Yeah, and
they're probably like for like.
much travelled cricketer.
But that's the thing. If you were to choose between Nabi and Marsh, you'd choose Nabi, especially on a Hyderabad surface.
9 days out of 10.
Yeah.
9 days out of 10. You
11
choose
days
Nabi.
out of 10.
Because he also gives you spin bowling, which is a better 6th bowler option
Yeah.
than a seam-up bowler.
I think they're just saying, we've lost Shakib, we'll get an all-rounder. Anyway, spin all-rounder, we have Nabi. Let me get someone. Mitch Marsh may play, say, I play in Mumbai or Kolkata and I have an all-rounder slot available. Maybe I
point. Good player, though.
Good player. You'd always, probably 9 times out of 10, you'd play Nabi ahead of him. But they might just be looking, okay, we're replacing Shakib with a fast bowling all-rounder. That's all. Don't look at it beyond
Shakib
that.
hardly ever played
Yeah,
for them.
yeah, because
Yeah, I mean, options. At the end of the day, it's options. And you think about it, they didn't spend too much money on him. So it's worked out well for them.
I mean, they go to Delhi, they go to Chennai, they need an extra spinner. They're playing Nabi, right?
Yeah.
They go on a good wicket, they want solid batting up the order, they're playing Williamson. Anyway, so
No.
seems like to have people. They picked 2 young players though, Virat Singh and Priyam Garg. Priyam Garg is India's under-19 captain. Virat Singh had a very good Mushtaq Ali tournament. A lot of these young players coming up saying, come look at me. So I think they like playing in this franchise. It's a good guys franchise, nice people at Sunrisers. And so they'll get a good climate to play in, good atmosphere to play in. Trevor Bayliss has come as coach. He used to be a good coach with younger people like Murali, Lakshman, nice people. So it's a good franchise to play for.
Yeah.
It's a good franchise to grow up. But see, the other thing is, look at it, when I'm putting 50 lakhs, 1 crore on a player, look at it as if I'm investing in a startup. 8 out of my 10 startups will go down. The sad bad fact is the player also goes down, and the startup is our startups are human beings, not just entities on paper or whatever, companies. But that's how they look at it. They said, 1 or 2 strike gold, okay, I'll retain them in a year.
But they've got a year to do that.
Yeah,
They've got just 1 year to do that. So they've got to be given enough chances to play. Ahead of these 2 in the queue is Abhishek Sharma, who started opening the batting at Punjab. He started off as a spinner, started opening the batting up at Punjab. So Priyam Garg, I'm hearing a lot of very good things about Priyam Garg. So let's see, he's got an under-19 World Cup to play just before the IPL.
RCB, let's have a look at what they have done so far. They've made 2 buys so far, 2 purchases. So let us have a look at their purchase. Bring it on.
They've got Aaron Finch at the top.
Aaron Finch and Chris Morris. Chris Morris, they paid a lot of money for.
And remember, they went after Maxwell, they went after Cummings.
I read this.
Yeah.
It's an informal discussion, so we can say someone said Chris Morris entered his name as AB de Villiers in the auction. He's a good player, Chris Morris, but he's sitting at home and he's saying his prayers today, saying, thank you very much, whoever it is up there that's looking after me. He's a good player, but at 10, what do you get, 10 crores?
Yeah.
Serious money.
Yeah, there was a serious bidding war for him. There you go. His base price was 1.5. He went for 10.
But he has a skill that is a little rare in that he's a finisher. He can bat 6, 7, 8 anywhere. Most days he'll give you 4 overs and most days he'll bowl at the death. Though I don't know if he's aware of how heartbreaking it is to bowl at the death in Bangalore.
RCB.
Yeah, that is just nonsense.
It's a graveyard. It's basically a graveyard for fast bowling careers, basically.
That's
You
right.
come there, you bowl out there. Bichara, I remember Ashok Dinda, he bowled out there and it was never the same. Once you bowl in a it's never
I'm just trying to
Even Dale Steyn has been hit there. Chris Jordan,
Yeah.
there's enough. Wasn't Tymal Mills also?
But he didn't play, he hardly played those
He didn't
many games,
play.
but he was the guy who took pace off most of the time.
Yeah.
So they'll have to play Chris Morris, Umesh Yadav, one of Siraj and Saini. That'll be their three quick bowlers. I'm still searching for the finisher in there. Because then they got Chahal and Sundar.
The death bowler, you mean.
And Shivam Dubey as a sixth
What's
bowler.
the batting?
They've
Is
got
Aaron Finch
that
playing?
sorted.
Is Aaron Finch playing though? Is Aaron Finch open?
Aaron Finch, look, if they play Aaron Finch, where do they play Parthiv Patel? Because they'll want to play Devdutt Padikkal, very bright young kid. Kohli 3, AB de Villiers 4, maybe Moeen Ali 5, Shivam Dubey 6, Washington Sundar 7. So if they play Aaron Finch, they have to find someone to keep wickets. Who keeps wickets? And AB said he's done with keeping wickets.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
But geez, you're right. Yeah, who keeps wickets for them? I think, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about RCB and how they're building their
Aaron
team.
Finch, it's
Confused.
very tempting to play a world-class, he's a leader within the side.
Yes,
he's a good
absolutely.
player. So it's very tempting to go have Aaron Finch opening the batting in Bangalore.
Yeah.
But they still need a keeper.
I mean, the T20 numbers of his are just beyond dispute, right?
Yeah, his IPL numbers have never been great. For some reason, he's never looked the player in the IPL as he looked. And it's not about surfaces. I mean, he's scored runs in other surfaces as well. It's not that he just needs the ball to come on. Somehow the IPL and look at the other thing. There's something there about chemistry that obviously hasn't worked. Otherwise, you do not do 7 teams in 10, 11 years. I mean, not even 10, 11 years, in about 9 years, 10 years, in about 10 years. He moves also because somewhere that fit hasn't happened. Whether the franchise, there hasn't that partnership has not happened with the franchise.
But they're buying more players. They're definitely buying more players.
And at least one more keeper.
Because they've got AB de Villiers.
they've only got 15 players right now.
AB de Villiers,
Definitely
Moeen Ali, Aaron Finch, Chris Morris. They've only got 4 overseas players.
Yeah.
They've only got 15 in total, so they're definitely buying 4 or 5 more
They're buying
players.
at least 2 more overseas players.
And how much money do they have?
They have a fair amount of
left?
money. They have a fair amount of money. I think they're about 20 crores in. They've still got.
There you go. 20 crores.
13 and a half.
Kings 11.
13 and a half.
13 and a half crores
They've got
left.
13 and a half.
That's enough.
They've got
They'll be
10
buying-
available slots.
They'll be buying 2 overseas players minimum, one of whom could be a keeper, unless they find a good young Indian keeper.
KXP, you say KXIP has done well. They've got 20 crores left.
Still left.
Their team is almost sort of ready, but they don't have a captain.
Yeah, they don't-
Everybody's got something or the other which is missing somewhere.
And not only that, the big point is you have to have a captain. You can't just pick a captain. You have to pick a captain who's going to be able to displace the other 10 guys in the 11. Somebody who's a sure shot pick. Because if you don't pick a captain who's a sure shot pick, that's a recipe for disaster.
Talking of which, is Shreyas Iyer confirmed as Delhi captain?
I hope they don't change that.
Yeah, he's a young man
Yeah.
who's hit a purple patch, is doing really well. He's full of confidence.
Led the team well in 19.
His confidence just borders on the side of arrogance as opposed to on the side of I'm not good enough side. So it's always better if it has to boil over into that
Yeah,
side.
that's true.
But he's got so many senior players around him. So it's going to be a challenge for him.
Yeah. But
week
apparently
took over.
Ponting loves him and he
Yeah,
follows
and
Ponting around like a puppy all the time.
And you might as well. Yeah, you might as well. If you say, I'm going to make Shreyas a captain again, I see him as a captain for the next 5 years, then you might as well invest in him.
But you should, and considering how he took over captaincy, which is in season 18.
Yeah, middle of the season, yeah.
Middle of the season, Gautam Gambhir quits, he takes over, has a good 19th season, they finish at number 3. These are the buys that
Look at the senior
they made
players.
today.
Ajinkya Rahane has been captain.
Yeah.
Shikhar Dhawan has been captain.
Yeah.
Ravichandran Ashwin has been captain.
Yeah.
Rishabh Pant briefly has been captain. There's a lot of senior players. Ishan Sharma, senior player. Lots of senior players in that side. So it's going to be a tough gig for him.
So they transferred Trent Bolt out to Mumbai.
Yes.
They
Yes.
transferred
in fact, today has
Sheffield
said-
Rutherford out.
Yes, he said today about Trent Bolt that he was leaking runs in the death.
Yes.
And he was good with the new ball, but we had Ishan
needed
for
someone,
that
yes.
role. But we need somebody there. That's why they sort of.
But
transferred.
again, it comes back to that. Have they solved their death bowler problem?
Yeah. I'm
I mean,
just
yeah,
thinking,
they've only bought batsmen.
you know, sometimes you look at teams and say, what if? You analyze teams and say, wow, and you analyze teams and say, what if? What if Kakishwar Abbar is unwell?
Yeah.
In that side. You're going Bolt. You're going
Ishan.
Vokes, Kimo Paul, Ishan Sharma. Avesh Khan is quick. He surfaces during the IPL. I don't hear that much otherwise. But you're right, they're still searching for that finisher. And just tells you every team we're talking about, we're saying who's the death bowler. It just tells you it's such a rare skill to have.
Yep.
When you have a Bumrah or someone like that in your team, a Bumrah and Archer, you just hang on to them for dear
Malinga,
life.
Bumrah, they're
Malinga.
gold. They're
Yep.
gold.
Well, let's have a
Mumbai
look
have done
at
well
the
actually
Indians.
on that front. Mumbai have retained their players. Mumbai have gone searching and retained quality players.
Talking about Bumrah, of course, let's talk about Mumbai Indians and see the ones that they have bought. They've got Chris Lynn, who has
a brilliant
tweeted
buy.
that he's
At
very
that
happy
price.
that he doesn't have to bat against Bumrah.
It's a good tweet that, yeah.
Coulter Nile,
Good track
of
for
course, and Saurabh Tiwari, who comes back to Mumbai Indians. If you remember, I think he started
Saurabh
out
Tiwari and Ambati Raidu.
under 19.
Yeah, Saurabh Tiwari. He started off there. Then the following year was a big breakthrough year for Saurabh Tiwari and Ambati Raidu.
Yeah, 2010.
Yeah.
They came not 9. 10 they came back. They reached the IPL finals under Sachin Tendulkar, and they were the two stars. One guy coming from the ICL. Yeah. And it was amazing. I mean, that was a very strong team at that time. Saurabh Tiwari was a flavor of the season. He seems to disappear, put on weight, sort of loses fitness, then sort of come back. He sort of rebounds back and always comes back to Mumbai.
Yeah.
And I think he keeps going and coming from Mumbai. And somehow they like him. They think he's got it. But I think now he's really their backup player. I mean, there's so many good hitters.
He's been before as well, yeah. He's definitely back.
How much money do they have?
They've got Aditya Tare, Saurabh
Ishan
Tiwari,
Kishan, all the young.
Ishan Kishan will play probably in the first 11.
Yeah, Ishan Kishan plays. They've got Surya Kumar Yadav. They've got enough Indian batting for sure. They've got good Indian players as well. Let's have a look at how much money they have left. What is the purse left for them? Coming right up.
See, they had 13.5 crores available.
2.55 crores only.
Yeah. They don't have much left.
So we're not, I mean, from them, we're not expecting much. I mean, the action we're expecting now in the next few rounds is obviously from Kings.
Yeah, those
from
first
Royals.
two you can say count out. I'll tell you, CSK will get one token Indian player for 20 lakhs and park him there because they want one young player so that, in the net somebody needs to fetch the ball.
DC needs depth.
And we don't want Harbhajan and Tahir. Harbhajan, get the ball. Tahir, it's your turn.
DC, of course, needs death bowler. We'll come back to that sheet once again real quick. SRH needs...
By the way, Mumbai Indians can't pick any more overseas players.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Overseas
done.
slots are gone for MI, gone for CSK.
Yeah.
RCB will be in the market.
MI really doesn't need anyone. MI, CSK look pretty set.
RCB, given the fact that there's only sort of DC, SR, they've got money left but not slots, I can see RCB picking up some good players at good prices.
At very decent prices, yeah.
They need death bowlers. RCB needs a death bowler.
Yes.
Right? RCB needs
If
a
a
death
death
bowler.
bowler at the 1K at the Chinnaswamy exists.
Yeah, if anything can happen. DC, of course, needs death bowler. SRH, what do SRH need?
SRH have got only Indian fast bowlers and spinners.
Yeah.
They've got
Billy
Indian fast
Stanlake
bowlers.
as a foreign pacer.
Yeah, if they play Billy Stanlake, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Big tall, big Stanlake.
Who
big
else
bowler.
is left? Kings 11. Kings 11 needs a captain.
Kings 11 needs a captain.
Needs a captain.
Everything else said.
No, I think they must have said, it's
KKR?
too late now to go searching for a captain.
Yeah, you can't. I think that's
too late now.
That's pretty much done. It has to be one of your squad already.
KKR need players, actually.
KKR, let's look at
needs some more
KKR.
players.
How many has
KKR's
KKR
international
bought so
team
far?
is-
They, of course, got the big buy of the day. They got Pat Cummins.
Tell you what,
They got Varun Chakravarti, last year's bank breaker. They got him at 4.
8.4 crores, played one game, got injured. He was 3 overs for 35, he got injured, but has hardly played since. So obviously KKR have been seeing something that no one else has seen and spent that kind of money on him.
So apparently he has his own setup.
there
There's
is the
complete
story
private
coming out
coaching.
now.
Private, he bowls in private nets. See, what's the comparative advantage? The advantage is you play Mushtaq Ali, you play this, you play that, you're seen. You get match practice, but people also get video to put on you. Okay, so they have, literally this player has sort of locked himself away. I won't discuss which teams told him to do that or not. Got himself ready.
Why do I think he knows more than he's telling us?
So he's done what he...
ठीक बताओ ना please.
No, but I'm
बताओ
saying,
ना, पूरा बताओ.
So what I'm saying is, say you're KKR or anyone, okay? All you need him to do is win 1 or 2 matches for you.
Okay.
He plays one match, after that the video, people see the video, they know him, finished. One match, he's hit batsmen, suddenly in a crucial time he's come in, guys don't know how to pick him because he's a completely different bowler. There are at least 2 balls that he's never actually bowled on tape. He gets,
So here's my thing.
Overdone a little bit. I mean, they're quality world-class
Yeah, see,
batsmen, right? They're reading people off the hand.
no, but what I'm saying is, the way they're looking at it is, one is raising sufficient doubt in the head that I really don't know what this guy is doing. 2 is, you can't do it for 14 matches. So when you buy a mystery bowler, you don't say, dude, this guy's going to win 5 matches for me. He's not Lasith Malinga. He's not even Ajanta Mendes because Ajanta Mendes was a very distinct bowler. But I'll put him in for a match, crucial match. Guys don't know how to play him. Suddenly their team is, 3 overs gone.
Sir, I get your point. But that's 1 or 2 games, right? You're saying this is a For surprise, you want cricketers in an IPL team to, it's the difference between a joke and a song. Right? You can tell a joke once, you can probably tell it twice for a laugh.
I don't know either.
Yeah, but you can listen to Where the Streets Have No Name for like 50,000 years, right? So you need quality that can persist for a while and not just a party trick.
I have 85 crores.
Yeah.
I'm punting 3.5 crores of that.
For one
I'm punting.
surprise deliveries?
Divide 85 into this thing.
No? It's a great world. Why are we not on that side of the world? It's a great world to punt in.
It's a punt.
3.5 crores. I say,
It's a punt.
what होता है 3.5?
Sir, you give me, I'll come and bowl 2 surprise balls to you, sir. Anytime.
See the logic.
I'm sure you have a net in your palace.
My claim to fame is bowling to VVS Lakshman the day before he scored 98 against Australia in a test match. I bowled 40 minutes to him.
So you got him ready.
No, I'm not saying. I bowled.
You
to
were the
him.
opening act.
I bowled to him.
Then yeah, by seeing you got him ready.
Wait a minute.
means-
Was Warney playing for Australia?
I didn't
Because
say I got him ready. I
Sat
said I
at-
bowled to him.
Tell
He's
you how
written
he-
that in his book.
I'll tell you how he got him ready is because he bowled him such juicy lollipops.
That
That VVS kept hitting the middle of the bat and the next day he came out to bat at 50.
I raised his confidence level. I played Warney the next day. He made 98 in that test match in
Leg spinner
Kolkata.
to leg spinner.
Sir, for 3.5 crores, I'll come and raise your confidence at home with the mystery ball.
नाम रखा है oak tree और सारे.
Oh, I am just a little nut I am. Okay, who are we looking at now? We're looking at the top Indian buys so far.
Yeah.
Who have been the Indian players who have gone for the most demand for who? Here's the list. Of course, Piyush Chawla at 6.75 crores. Then Varun Chakravarti, who we were just talking about. Robin Uthappa at 3. Jaydev Unadkat at 3 to Rajasthan Royals. So, Rajasthan Royals doing their money ball strategy well, as usual. Good value buys for sure. And then the top foreign players. Ooh, Pat Cummins, 15.5. 15.5. 15.5.
Whatever accent you say it in, the money doesn't change.
Yeah, it doesn't, huh? I don't want it
He's
to.
practicing though.
15 and 10, 25 and 8, 33, 34.25 going towards India-Australia Trade Council.
Amaze.
But Joy, you were telling us if they don't get to play 11, they don't get paid the whole amount.
Yeah, they don't.
There is some calculation, right?
There is
That
a
if you don't
calculation.
play.
So it used to be that about 60% of your sum was guaranteed, and 40% was put together against that.
Yeah.
Because then you
Performance
have
incentive.
Yeah, so the number of matches you play has a certain direct bearing on the amount of money you get. So if you play all 14, you get a certain amount of money. The other is the injury clause, and the injury clause is a strange one. If you get injured before you enter the team, then you don't get any money for those matches.
And that makes sense because Brendan McCullum has told Pat Cummins, don't play anything till you come here now.
No, you know why he's told him also?
Yeah, that's funny.
He was playing against New Zealand.
Against New Zealand. That's why.
That's a good line.
He said, don't play against New Zealand. Yeah.
So he wins both ways basically.
Yeah, basically. Winner, chicken dinner. The players who've gone unsold, there were some surprising ones, of course. Who's gone unsold? Let's have a look at this. Evan Lewis not finding a buy. I'm finding that a little surprising.
I think Evan Lewis will go. I think they'll come back. Evan Lewis will go. Somebody look at that price because somebody, if you see, we'll see the accelerated auction prices now. Who are the guys whose names are now on the list? I expect Evan Lewis to come back.
Okay, Evan Lewis comes back. Colin Ingram, Delhi Capitals had let him go. Didn't do
Not
much.
that surprised. A top order batsman, slowish conditions, proper South African batsman. So he struggled last year.
Yeah, he struggled.
Batted too low, batted at 5. He's a very good T20 player around the world, but he plays at a certain number on certain kind of pitches. So you've seen Colin Munro, Colin Ingram, both bought for decent sums of money last year by Delhi Capitals. Neither has been bought again.
Dale Steyn, also unsold.
I
You think he could come back?
somewhere.
I hope.
I see him coming back
definitely
somewhere.
see him coming back.
I won't be surprised if RCB get him back.
Okay. Let's just keep going. Let's go to the next one.
But that's
Let's
a
do
big
a
one.
roll call quickly. Martin Guptill also.
Not
always
surprised.
Guptill
when
never
he picked up.
has
Record in
never
India.
carried in the subcontinent.
Record in India is terrible. For such a fine player, his record in India is very ordinary.
Next, we have anyone else? Yusuf Pathan, of course. Yusuf Pathan could make a comeback.
But as I said, I'm not surprised. Yusuf Pathan.
You know, Joy, of course, is rooting for him to come back because
He looks fitter. Look, one, I mean, leave friendship.
I mean, he
and
made
all that
76
aside.
yesterday.
Yeah,
Yesterday he made 76 in a Ranji Trophy game, but he's not played a lot.
Yeah.
But, and the Mushtaq Ali is over. So maybe he doesn't have enough games left to prove himself again.
Yeah. But he's, I think, again, he's got a year left in him. Again, somebody like a Dhoni would use him brilliantly, would know exactly where to put him and what to do. Of course, Dhoni can't buy him because he's out of that rate price.
Doesn't have enough money.
Doesn't have enough money.
And you can't even go and say, "Main kam ke liye taiyar hu."
Kam ke liye taiyar hai. But yeah, I think they're missing a trick because use him for experience. Again, just like this mystery spinner, do not expect Yusuf Pathan to play 14 matches for any team. But you have 2, 3, 4 of these things. Have an experienced guy. He's a hitter. He could change matches.
So now we will go into the accelerated auction process. What happens in this is there's a whole bunch of players. There's about 330, 340 players who were in the auction. You probably have only seen about 80 or 90 of them or 100 of them. But you won't go through all the other names. The teams will have a look at the list, players unsold and players yet to come up, and they will give their little wish list of the players they would want to come in. It's anonymous, of course. So you have a few that they're serious about, a few decoys perhaps in there, and everybody goes into a pool, and then the accelerated list happens. And what we will do is there are 2 sets of accelerated lots, and we will see you after the first set and come and discuss any of the unsold players have been picked up or any big surprises or any player that we didn't expect to sort of just come from left field and sort of made the news or got on the leaderboard. Let's have a look at what each of the teams have left in terms of purse available, in terms of players and slots that they need to fill. No more overseas players for MI or CSK. You have RCB who can pick a few up, as can Rajasthan Royals. RCB having a lot of slots, but Kings 11 having the most amount of money. So we can expect these 2 teams getting into the action, as well as Rajasthan Royals doing some more value for money buys, which Manoj Badale, their owner, said that we've gone back to our old school thought, our thought from before of value for money buys. So you can expect a few of those coming there as well. All right, that's all we have time for right now. Big thank you to Joy Bhattacharjya and Harsha Bhogle. Big thank you to all of you. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gaurav Kapur. We'll see you again on Cricbuzz Live. We are talking about the IPL auctions. See you soon.